Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Bible in Order, where we are chronologically going through the entire Bible in 1 year. Today's reading for December 13th is Acts, chapters 24 through 26. Paul's missionary journeys are winding down because he's now in custody, and it's been going on for years. I have so many questions about why. Why was Paul imprisoned? Was that God's will for him? Was that Paul's will? Could he have been set free had he desired to? Was it God's way of protecting him and keeping him safe so that he could be in a guarded house under government control and protection to give him the time he needed to think and to pray, to write letters? We have all of these epistles or letters written to the different churches by Paul. Would we have those had he not spent so much time incarcerated for the gospel? What if Paul had not appealed to Caesar? Would he have spent those several years awaiting trial under Felix and Agrippa? One thing's for certain, the evil, depraved haters of all that is good, those people who wanted to have Paul's life because he spoke the truth, they just couldn't handle it. They lied, not just taking things out of context, but literally manufactured statements against Paul in order to have him incarcerated. And they sought his very life. In chapter 24, verse 5, they said that they had found Paul to be a plague and agitator among all the Jews throughout the Roman world, a ringleader of a sect of the Nazarenes. And they said in verse 6, he even tried to desecrate the temple, and that's why they arrested him. Outright, bold-faced lies. Have you ever been upset when you heard somebody telling lies about you? That righteous anger that wells up? It's interesting because in chapter 24 here, it doesn't say anything about Paul getting angry. It seems just very much par for the course. He very eloquently gives his defense and even tries to persuade the judge to accept Jesus as Messiah. His verdict is postponed, and he waits 2 more years, it says in verse 27, before Festus takes over from Felix. And it says that Felix had wanted Paul to bribe him in order to be set free. Would it have been wrong for Paul to pay him off in order to get out of jail? Would God have been continuing to use Paul in differing ways, maybe to actually go and see more people in person? It does seem as though Paul's letters written have had more lasting impact because they've been preserved for nearly 2,000 years now and are read all around the world. In chapter 25, Paul appeals to Caesar. Enough of this. Let's have the state, the Roman government, pay for my way and protect me along the way as I go all the way to Rome. Paul defends himself again against Agrippa, sharing his testimony. And even Agrippa says Paul could have been set free had he not appealed to Caesar. Tomorrow we will be reading the last 2 chapters in Acts, winding down yet another great historical account. And it reminds me that in just a few weeks we will mark the entire Bible complete. We will have accomplished what we set out to do, reading through the entire Bible in 1 year in chronological order. I hope that you've learned as much as I have and that you've enjoyed it. And now I think, what are we going to do next year in 2024? I feel like it might be a good idea to change up the format a little bit. And instead of these daily teachings, what if we spent more time reading, asking ourselves questions, teaching ourselves, and then did some live meetings once a week or so to discuss together so that we could follow in the vein of Paul's instruction of instructing one another. learning together, having a dialogue rather than a monologue. How much more beneficial would that be for all of us? It just does not seem fair to me that I've been the only one, primarily, who's been exercising my spiritual gift of teaching, and it has been a good year for me. I feel like I've grown a lot. I've definitely learned a lot, but how selfish would it be if I continued to hog the microphone? So I hope and pray that all of you will continue with me and the Bible in Order in 2024, but it will become much more of a collaborative effort where you practice as much as I do, and we are all equipped to go and do the works of the ministry that God prepared in advance for us to do. Now, of course, we're not going to be able to do live meetings at a time that's convenient and preferred for every single one of us. However, I would really love to hear from you. Generally speaking, when is a time of the week that is typically good for you to jump on a call, whether it be video like this or a Zoom meeting? Chances are we will be streaming live through Facebook and YouTube, Zoom, and others. So please comment on this post or send me a message. When would be a convenient time for you? Would it be Fridays at noon Eastern? Would it be Monday nights at 7? Saturday morning, Sunday morning? If you are interested in continuing this journey, equipping one another, and practicing our own gifts and leadership, let me know again in the comments or send me a message. Thank you, my friends, for being on this journey with me. Truly grateful. We'll see you tomorrow.